Hello everyone, I'm Tom64.
I'm Tanner of the North.
And I'm Richie.
And welcome to the HellfireComms playthrough of Astral Chain for the Nintendo Switch. Oh, we couldn't just stop at the quick look, we had to go deeper, longer as it were. Believe it or not, I actually just started marathoning the game after we were done with the quick look. I enjoyed it that much. It's arguably one of Platinum's best, but instead of just me waffling on, why don't we just get into a new game and we'll go from there. Going to be playing on Platinum Standard from whenever it gives me the option to, which is basically normal mode and whatnot. Tanner's going to be covering gameplay mechanics and whatnot where he can. Richie, as our usual, try not to paraphrase Wikipedia in its entirety sort of guy. But Tanner, you did the quick look with me, so I'll just throw this to Richie. Richie, how was your experience with Astral Chain, mate?
Well, I have to say it was a fun one because obviously after it first got announced, I was just like, oh, new Platinum game, it's on the Switch, Hideki Kamiya, and it just looked really cool and exciting. And so obviously I was just like, well, that's a first day buy from me, and also I was totally one of those people who got the collector's edition.
Yeah, I don't know why you bothered to bring that up, when we were preparing for this. I got my collection near me and whatnot, you're trying to humble brag or something.
Well, it partly a humble brag, but also partly because, theoretically there's useful stuff that could come out of that. I mean, I've got a couple of quotes from people and bits and bobs. You never know what you need during a commentary. It's been a while since I've done one.
Yeah, it kind of has, actually.
I think the last time I did a commentary was before lockdown happened, so, whew.
Yeah.
But yeah, so playing Astral Chain, I had a really good time. I really enjoyed it as a game. I think I have qualms with its ending or lack thereof, which left me with a interesting perception on the game overall, but on the whole, it's a great game and I had a lot of fun with it.
What about you, Tanner? Just refresh me on your opinions from the quick look, mate.
Yeah, so I got this day one as well. It was, again, I saw Platinum and I was like, yeah, I'm in, I don't care. Platinum never loses its luster. They are the best. And I got through most of it. I think I got up to about chapter 8 or 9, and then it's just a case of, well, I had other games that came out. It didn't grab me as much as some of them, and I think for me it just came down to there was a lot of side quests. There was a couple where I was like, I don't really want to do the side quests, which bogged it down a little bit for me, but otherwise I still really enjoy it, and I think it was a good idea after Nintendo basically said, hey, we kind of don't care about the Wonderful 101. Platinum, can you make us a new sort of, series to be your Nintendo Platinum series? I think this was a good thing for them to do, where they have this as kind of we get Astral Chain spirits in Smash and stuff now.
Well, that's really funny, because isn't, the HD remaster of Wonderful 101 on the verge of releasing, if it hasn't already, Rich?
Yes, so it is officially out digitally for backers. It's, I think, coming out digitally for everyone. I want to say in a few days from when we're recording this. The physical release was delayed due to the you-know-what, which is killing me inside. I mean, I could start playing it right now if, I had Steam, because they rather nicely gave all the backers a digital code for to play it if they weren't physical, but it was a Steam code, and I don't have Steam.
Fair enough.
So that's fun. So so that is coming out. So they had to obviously kickstart that to get it over the line. Obviously, everyone knows that I am a Platinum Games nerd, and if that wasn't clear already, you're talking to the guy who kind of threw I think well over £100 on that Kickstarter campaign, and that's the only Kickstarter I've ever backed.
Again with the humble brags, mate. Come on. Oh, finally they've found a way to control the police, make them better, stronger, faster, more Eva-like, I guess. I
mean, I have to say, I do wish that Nintendo had done a better job of marketing the Wonderful 101, because honestly, it is one of my favourite games of all time.
Yeah, well, let's save that for the inevitable Wonderful 101 remastered playthrough, shall we?
Well then,
Exactly. But with that said, I think that they did a much better job of advertising Astral Chain, and I think that's partially because they saw that in terms of its look, its style, what it was going for, it was a much easier sell. And actually it did really well. Like, it got really pretty damn good review scores, and also really sold very well.
It helps that people own the Nintendo Switch versus the Wii U.
Yes, that is very true. But yeah, so it's sold over 1 million copies, which does make it one of the best-selling games on the Nintendo Switch, which is great.
Coolio. Now, I believe we played as female Akira in the quick look, is that right, Tanner?
No, we were the male.
Is that correct? Huh. I don't know which to go with here. Shall we have a show of hands? Richie, what's your preference?
I would say go for the male player character, purely because female Akira has the better voice acting, from my understanding. Also because that is just the way that I play through the game, and, you know, like to see consistency in these things.
Fair enough, mate. What about you, Tanner?
I agree. I do think out of the two voice actors, the better one is Brianna Knickerbocker as female Akira, and, you know, I did my playthrough making the ultimate waifu, who was basically just, you know, Chie from Persona as a cop, so...
Okay, gotta go with the obvious answers over here. Give me a second.
I mean, you could have also done Geese.
No, that's the dad.
Oh, fair enough.
There we go, we are Rock Howard, brother to Akira Howard. Okie dokie, hairstyle. Gotta choose carefully here. If you see one you like, either of you just call out.
I mean, we could go with C and make it blonde and get the true Rock Howard experience.
Ooh, you're not wrong, you're not wrong. Okay. Oh, nice. Or is that better?
I say go for that one. That's a bit more anime aesthetic.
What about the eye colours exactly?
It's got to be red.
Okay. Is that good? Or a bit brighter?
No, darker red looks better.
Okay, that works for me. Confirm.
Brenda.
I noticed you didn't go over the skin color. Is there something you want to say? No.
Funny. You're so fucking funny, Tanner. Why don't you go make another searing hot take about Paper Mario being destroyed and have people take the bait?
Hey, you know what? Anytime I have a create a character, it's like, okay, go to the default, you know, skin color and say, let's just crank it down just a little bit, because I like to pretend every game takes place in a tropical world.
So, yeah, you've pretty much already seen the first file, if you've watched the quick look, so nothing much to address here, but Tanner, why don't you run us through the motions of what it means to be an Astral Chain Patrol Officer guy thing?
So essentially, every single file is basically the name of the chapters, will have cases. There are blue cases and red cases. Blue cases are like side quests that you can pick up. Usually, they give a little bit of side quests, a little bit of lore on this side, but you want to hit them all if you want to get those good platinum rankings. But red cases are the ones that are the story mandatory ones. So if you saw, this here is the red case, the very first red case in the game, and every case does get a ranking towards it. Your rankings totally will get added up at the end to get your big platinum rank. The best way to think about it is thinking of them as the verses in Bayonetta there, where each case is you're graded on it. However, not all cases are combat oriented. For sometimes we get mini games like this bike one here, or there might even be ones that involve you going through dialogue options, you know, because we're a cop. It's not all about violence. Right?
No, sometimes it's about carrying ice cream.
Yes. Or moving boxes.
No, I'm not sure about that. Might have to skip that one.
What? You mean this won't be a 100% pure platinum ultimate difficulty, no hit, low percent run?
No, and you can go fuck yourself for even suggesting such a thing. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, I like doing this.
I have to say, I do really like this because it just makes me think of Route 666 in Bayonetta.
Yes,
and that just makes me smile every single time.
Yeah, sadly though, Rock Howard here doesn't start the ignition by using a flaming middle finger, which is still one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah, I know, I am missing the time to go room!
Time to go shoot, maybe. Now, thankfully, I don't think I'm graded on the first chapter. You get the choice to change to a higher difficulty come File 2, and so on. And in terms of, like, recording, we're going to record a couple of files at a time. In terms of releasing videos on YouTube, there'll be a few files a week, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday in that regard. There we go.
So, if I recall correctly, because obviously last time I played this game was September 2019, when roughly, well, it came out at 30th of August 2019, so it was September when I was playing it. You can get graded on the first file, but I think that you can only do that after you've already completed it and you go back in and play it on the right difficulty level to begin getting graded.
Yeah, that's correct. There'll be a point where you get into, like, the police office and you have your own personal desk or a PC and you can just check out the files from there and whatnot.
Which, I mean, it's a good way of doing it. It kind of ties into the tactic that Bayonetta does in its openings of having that initial moment where it just allows you to enjoy and experience the game before it starts, you know, throwing grades at you. Although, obviously, this is a full prologue. Well, obviously, it's the first file, but it's basically the prologue of the game. Whereas in both Bayonettas, you do get graded in your prologue. It's just the bit before the prologue that you don't.
So this is one of the blue cases you mentioned, Tanner. Did you go out of your way to do these things?
I started with doing all of the ones that I could, but eventually I hit a point where there was getting to be so many of them, and there is the fact that on your first playthrough, you actually can't get all of them, because there are barriers in your way that prevent you from getting to some areas. You're supposed to come back with powers you get later. So at that point I said, you know what, whatever, I'm just going to mainline it through, and then I would go back on the platinum difficulty to actually do them, get all the blue cases, because you are supposed to try and do them all to get your proper ranking. The nice thing is, if you do it once, you don't have to redo it in a chapter. As long as you complete that case and get a good file, you don't have to actually worry about, say, you know, going through the level and doing every single blue case. Just focus on the ones that you haven't done.
Well, think we might need a backup chopper.
Yeah, just everyone's gonna die.
Oh boy, nasties. Alright, let's go. I have changed to preset C at this moment in time. When you first start the game, Tanner, what buttons do you use to actually fight?
Your attack button is on the R2 button if you're PlayStation, or ZR on Nintendo, which is weird. I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
Alright, so we got the lock on here.
Thankfully, the Type C controls is basically Bayonetta. It is as close to Bayonetta as you can get, because this game does change up a little bit. It's not exactly, you know, platinum normal. It's not like, as soon as I started playing, I'm like, this doesn't feel exactly like Bayonetta, and it's because it's not. It's a different game, right? So it's a lot more positional. You have to deal with the fact that where you hit enemies will determine the damage. Hitting them in the back deals more than hitting them in the front. There are ones that fly, and so you'll want to use the gun instead. There are air attacks, but as of now, there's not an easy way to do them.
No.
Your aerial attacks do get a lot more use later, but for now, like, there's no jump button. You're not doing crazy air combos.
Oh, it staggered me and whatnot. No, I want my Astral Chain monster thing. I miss it already.
You want your Legion.
You definitely start off with a very limited moveset, which I think was a little bit of a bad idea, because you start off, and I've seen a lot of people pick up and just play the first case and go, this game isn't for me, it doesn't feel right, not knowing that if you continue playing, don't worry, you get that platinum action that you like. It just starts off slow. Maybe this game needed a sort of Bayonetta prologue where you're just thrown into an endgame thing with all your powers to go, whoa, this is gaming.
Maybe, actually, yeah, that probably would have benefited it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that probably could have worked. I mean, the other thing that sort of I remember is that, so one of the things with Astral Chain that it makes me sad is that obviously the player character is definitely squishier than your ally that you will meet any minute now, and that sort of always makes me think of the game that was Scalebound. Then I just get sad because I wish that game had come to fruition, but there we go.
Richie will never let Scalebound go. Not that he is required to, of course. We all carry burdens in our hearts. Mine is the original version of Sticker Star. That was gonna be your partners-filled RPG game, and then wasn't!
Yeah, Sticker Star is a crock of shite.
It's okay. Mine is half of the Mega Man series after, X8.
Oh. I think we said a little bit too much guff about Paper Mario this session. These are the infamous Nintendo ninjas I've heard so much about.
Oh god, they're coming to delete the Mario 64 PC port off your computer!
No! I won't let you get away! Okay, so Akira, maybe figure out that you can't hurt these things and just keep running. Be like me, be like your brother.
I mean, it'd be nice, but...
You do have a fairly good dodge button, although, once again, don't think of it like Bayonetta, a witch you are not. You don't get as many iframes at all.
No. Good chance for counters and whatnot, though. Comes in very handy against the bigger enemies. Help, please. Geese, anytime. Alright then. It is Anime Man with JoJo Creature.
Punch Cop!
Yeah. You know what's funny? There's actually an Axe Cop as well.
There is, you're right. I didn't even think about that.
Go, Amaterasu!
Blade Wolf, but one that, was a bit of a traitor and became a police officer.
Yeah, or, as we should just call it, Dog Cop.
Yeah. Know you now what it means to be Dog Cop. Okay, I'm gonna need that final part of the cop sandwich here to save my ass. It's coming. Launching sandwich, acquiring bread. Don't know where I'm pulling this joke from, it's fine. It's a live playthrough, it doesn't matter, just keep talking! Dude, what the fuck? This guy's so swole. Behold the Jiren of the legions.
Or, Itachi, judging by how he's grabbing him by the neck here.
Gave no fucks.
Yeah, that's what we call badassery.
Really?
First you dyed your hair, and now you're a shitty cop. Oh, I hate you.
Ah, you won't even get your eye scarred. Dad, that is a rub-on tattoo, and you know it.
He just walks away going, Reppuken! Reppuken!
Just shuffling, doing whammy whams and biffle deaths. Joke's on him, Evo's gone digital this year.
You must let them use the Legatus.
No, obviously Evil Mentor, you cannot allow that, it's too cool.
You cannot expect them to fight Chimeras on their own.
I could have sworn the word Captain said Capcom there for a second.
I've already loaded their personnel data into those devices.
If you say so.
So someone pointed out that this is basically the opening to a Kamen Rider series, like almost one-to-one of like, hey, we're a bunch of riders who've been riding for a while. Oh, here's this new guy. Well, I guess he's got to use it. What? You mean he's good with it? Yeah, it's Kamen Rider.
Okay, I'm going to need you, Rishi, and you, Tanner, to each pick one specific Henshin call and just keep it on standby until I ask you to.
Okay.
Okay.
Hopefully you both have a little bit of knowledge of Sentai.
I got one.
I also have one.
Now don't go dying on me.
Oh, it's the good shit, it's coming!
You know it is when the game saves.
Actually, very good point there. Well, we can't see him, so I guess we'll have to bond with this Legatus thing.
We gotta use our cop Pokeball.
Alright, you ready, sis? Let's do this shit. RPM! Get in gear!
Tatorabata! Tatoba! Tatoba! Tatoba!
Henshin a go-go, baby!
Fuck yes. It's so intricate. It doesn't need to be this intricate, but it is. And that just describes Astral Chain in a nutshell, really. It does when maybe it shouldn't, but it still did.
That's it. That's the quote that should be on the box.
I mean, I have to say, one of the things that I do really like about the way Astral Chain does stuff is that obviously it's got that really cool sci-fi, cyberpunk type look and feel to it, which is very similar to obviously what Vanquish did. And I mean, Vanquish is such a cool game anyway, but one of the things that Vanquish suffered from was that it was very sterile, because everything was so white and relatively clean, apart from, you know, the bits that weren't. But this game's got a lot more kind of colour and pop and pizzazz, and it kind of pulls off that vibe. I'd say more successfully, but obviously they are going for two completely different audiences.
I mean, it's okay. You can say Pepsi and Mountain Dew, because that's all I think of when I look at some of these color schemes.
You're not wrong.
So Tanner, walk us through the Legion process, please.
So the Legion is, think of it as another entity that will automatically attack for you. You don't necessarily command it. It's not like you press buttons and it immediately does. It is always trying to fight. However, what you can do is you can move it around. So you can control it with one of the sticks. You can also send it out and pull it in. You can wrap chains around stuff. That chain is a physical object, and boy, the game makes sure you know because you use it for that. However, as you go later on and kind of bond up with your Legion, you do get a lot of abilities that you can command them to do. But for the most part, at the very beginning, it is just, you send him out, he attacks, you attack, you work together, it's a stand.
The voice acting can range from good to maybe the director wasn't on point that day.
It's okay, you can say good to Jin.
Richie, how was your take on the combat when you first got your Legion?
It took me a little while to grasp the nuances of how it worked. I think partially because at this particular stage, the abilities that your Legion has are still relatively limited. So it was very much a case of going, I'm here for this. I just need you to get a little bit more interesting. Thankfully, you know, as soon as we get past this prologue bit, you do start to get some more of those complex moves and strategies, and it becomes a lot more interesting, and very much as happens in pretty much every Platinum game I have ever played. Even if it takes a little while to get into it, there comes a point where everything just clicks, and then it just feels so natural to play.
Nope, back off a little bit. Nope, back off, back off. Shooty, shooty.
Yeah, the nice thing is, as you're doing your combat, you can be ranged while your Legion can be up there, right? You can sort of plan it out and say, like, look, this guy's pretty big, he's got a shield. I'll shoot him while I send my Legion behind to get critical hits. Though you do have to be careful, there is a battery gauge that you see is that blue circle there. It goes down for every sort of second that your Legion is out. It's not too much of a problem normally because there are ways to easily increase the gauge for each file, but it is something you need to pay attention to because if your Legion goes away, well, now you're just a cop, and cops can't do too much against legions of evil?
No, not really known for that sort of thing.
Well, I mean, they're Chimeras, that's what they're called. But yeah, you do become very squishy when it's just you by yourself. Which is fair enough, because it means that you do have to very carefully think about that balance between using your Legion and maintaining that battery level.
Oh, advanced mechanics this early in the game. Nope, it's just cutscene fuck you power-up time.
I hope you like deciding your hair color, because you won't be seeing it anytime soon.
Well, what's the difference between this and going from Super Saiyan to, Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan anyway?
God, they're gonna make him have a different color in the sequel, huh?
Of course they finished it with an X-Slice. Why wouldn't they?
What in the hell was that?
That was cool. What have I told you about being cool? Coolness. Too much.
Trying not to reference Chrono Trigger. It's so cool, though.
So yeah, there we go. That was basically File 1 in a nutshell. Oh, sloppy strikes. Yeah, whatever. I got a dog rating, that's fine.
You didn't get a dog rating, you got a lappy rating.
You okay?
More of which later.
You nearly gave me a
Something
heart
interesting is those bonuses that appear there are, they're very important. They're actually really what determine your score that you get. It's a bit different than normal Platinum games, where normally it's like, did you get hit, did you do it quickly, that's it, that's all we really looked for. Where this is more about get those Smash Bros. Melee bonuses, because those determine your score.
Yeah, I've seen people get knocked around in Astral Chain a lot, but still, like, pull out tons of fancy moves, cycle through the weapons and legions, etc., and still get S+ ranks, which is the highest rank you can get. So don't be afraid to experiment. That's what the game really wants.
Try to explain.
Oh, definitely. And I think that's one of the things that does make Astral Chain really quite interesting in sort of the whole scope of Platinum Games' games, because it is pretty much the only game that acts like that, and in some ways that makes it a bit easier to play, because it's just going, don't worry, just do whatever the hell you like. But continue. But hey, anime opening!
Fuck yes, every game, well, at least every Platinum game should open with one of these from now on.
No, you're right. Every game needs an anime opening. It doesn't matter if I'm playing Farming Simulator 2020. I should get these voice actors, and I should get this sick vocal theme.
Agreed. Like, it's necessary, because they're just so ridiculous and cool and hilarious, and this just makes me really happy.
Lots of Platinum stuff makes Richie happy, as you'll no doubt have noticed over the years. I'm a big fan of this OP. I like the theme. I'm not really sure about maybe the credits theme, but Savior is pretty good. I like Dark Hero as well.
This is one of the things. So with the collector's edition, there was an art book, and basically got the entire lyrics to Savior. Also, lyrics were written by Chimera, composed by Hiroyuki Fujino, arranged by Yoro and Hiroyuki Fujino, and then the vocals, depending on which character you go with. I think it's, if you go with the male character, then you get William Aoyama from Intersection singing. And if you go with the female character, then you get Beverly. And basically that continues throughout the game. So when you eventually get to Dark Hero, which is incredible, that is also them singing. They do all the songs throughout. But yeah, I really like it in games. Well, when anything gives you the actual lyrics to a song that they've put in the game, because that just makes it so much fun.
There he goes, rambling again about stuff he likes. Well, that's what we do here at HFC. We ramble. And that's basically the first file, so why don't we go ahead and continue to the next one. Don't worry, they will start to get a little bit longer. Never too long, though, for my liking, except, well, maybe in the middle, but we'll talk about that when we get to that point in the game. But for now, we change the playstyle, we put it on PT Standard, and we'll see you in File 2.
So keep holding